Turn your radio up. Louder. Louder. Just a little bit louder. Because the next hour, you're going to be tuned in to Donnie Jones Live with Donnie Jones and Mardy Ringer. Hey, can we just stick with Mardy? Because like that Mardy ring, it don't have that ring to it, you know? I'm just saying. And Mardy, with your hosts Donnie Jones and Mardy, sponsored by Don's Tree Service, is Donnie Jones Live, right here, right now, right now. Donnie Jones Live.
Hello. I am Donnie Jones.
And I'm Mardy Ringer.
We are here hanging out together at Donnie Jones Live. We have a great show for you today.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, we're bringing great people to the community. And
yes, and great people that's doing great things like Mr. Joe. I want to say thank you for cleaning up your yard. You making our community look a little bit better.
That's not what I'm talking about,
but that was a good thing.
I
appreciate
we appreciate
that.
Mr. Joe.
You know?
But today on the show, we got Mrs. Arprentiss. Haye. And that really is her name, Haye.
Is Miss Arprentiss, is that your new name? Because you recently got married, didn't you?
I did. And that is the new last name. I'm the new Mrs. Haye.
Wonderful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Y'all in counseling yet?
Say again?
Y'all in counseling yet?
Oh, yeah. I'm the counselor.
Oh, okay.
Well, the reason why we've got Arprentiss on the show is she's been an inspiration of mine for a long time. And we have been talking about this for how many years now?
It's been a good few years.
It's been a good few years. I'm like, you got to come on my show. You got to come on my show. She's like, well, are you on a show yet? We just going to be sitting in your living room talking? I don't know. But no, Arprentiss has been an inspiration, and she's what was a single mom. Yes. She's also an advocate of fitness, and she's got a business called Well Fit, but she's also a long-term representative for UPS. She's always had a long-term career there. I'm getting all tongue twisted today, Mardy. What's up with that?
I don't know. It's that coffee. Yes, that coffee.
That's what it is. I ain't had my coffee yet.
That stuff you put in your coffee.
Well, we don't talk about that.
It is communion week. But anyway, yes.
Hey, they ain't got no alcohol in my communion, okay?
Well, you need to come to my church. We got that strong cognac. You're going to feel Jesus after that. You know?
I hear you.
We can do it with that cognac and Jiffy cornbread.
Jiffy cornbread. The cognac don't even go with Jiffy cornbread,
on
man.
On Sundays it do.
It do?
Trust me.
That would be the body of Christ.
That's
the cornbread.
Body of Christ. That's some good spinach.
I love it. But no, Arprentiss has been an inspiration because some of you may or may not know, I've always kind of had a challenge with my weight. And one of the things, after I became friends with her, I noticed that she was always looking good, looking fit, looking good in her clothes and stuff like that. Mardy, please.
Look, I saw her in a wedding dress, and it was just like, she's taking Jesus. She's taking it, bang, chicken, bang, wang. But no, I can tell you work out and everything. And I'm one of them that deal with weight problems and everything. So
Mardy, you ain't got no weight. Okay, your problem is you can't gain no weight.
That's a problem. Okay. That's a problem. Y'all don't understand. When a woman looks at a man, she wants a man that she thinks is gonna take care of her. Fight for it. They don't pick me for that at all. I got to be articulate in every fight. Well, sir, I'm sorry that she stepped on you.
Avoid.
Because I have to. If you ain't in my weight class, we just gonna talk it out. We're gonna talk it out.
But we're like this, I'm in the heavyweight class.
Right, I'm in featherweight.
Exactly. So I wouldn't be fighting you.
Right, no.
But
it is a thing that we do, that certain people of my stature, in a sense, we do deal with that. And it's one of those things, because people say, well, look at you're thin, but we try constantly to gain and gain.
Well, I can teach you how to gain weight. I can work. I can,
they say that, but it
don't work.
They say fast metabolism is what you eat and all this kind of stuff. You got supposed to work out and all that. But, it is something that I do kind of want to pick your brain.
Can we please let her talk?
I'm trying to ask the question.
Okay. What was the question?
How do skinny people gain weight?
You know what? I think that the answer to that question would be better suited by a medical doctor if you're having trouble gaining weight.
Okay,
well, I specialize in helping people lose
Back to my problem.
Ain't got nothing to do with me. Go ahead.
No, seriously, she's an inspiration because, you see women that have had a couple kids and, and when you're in your friend group, people are like, well, girl, I can't get this weight off because I done had a couple kids. And I look at her going, well, you done had a couple kids too. So what you doing that we ain't doing? Talk to us, Arprentiss. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, okay, so you mentioned that I was a single mom. So
Yes.
up until
She got a
last
man
month when
now,
I got
girl.
married. I was married now.
And he's a good size.
I was
She's
a
a
single mom for
good-looking
22
guy.
years.
Uh-huh.
And I have 2 boys,
Yeah.
23 nearly and 11.
She looked like she's
Now,
17, y'all.
wonderful
She really do.
husband. Thank you. And as you mentioned, I have a long-time career at UPS. I'll celebrate 27 years there in February
Yay!
as a pricing senior analyst, but started out as administrative assistant.
Yeah.
I've also been persistent in pursuing my bachelor's degree, and so if in May,
And what are you getting your degree? What are you pursuing your degree in?
in communication,
Okay.
2.5 classes to go.
Yay!
2019, I'll walk
She
across that
educated,
street.
y'all.
Mercer University.
She look good and she's smart. I like it.
And
What's that Cardi B song? I like it like that.
Yes.
As we were saying. Y'all see now why we got him.
Yes,
Just
I love
saying,
it. I
y'all.
love it. And I have a passion for fitness.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, and my business
I
is
have a
called
passion to
Well
get fit. So-
But you need that to get
do.
to the fitness. But I added the well fit in front of I put it first because wellness is also a very important
Right.
part of fitness. It's not just about working out. And a huge part of wellness is also, of course, what you put in your mouth, what you put in your body. And you have to be well mentally,
Right.
spiritually,
Right.
and physically.
Right.
And so,
Well, I remember one of the things you asked me when I first started, talking to you about weight, and you were like, "Well, Donna, you got to find out why you eat so much." And I was like, "Because I like food." We can just cut
Just
that
one of them
conversation
things.
short.
I like the taste of
like
food.
The taste of food.
I like the taste of salt. I like the taste of
I like
sugar.
sugar. I like
I
ice
like
cream.
Ice cream, I just don't like my mouth to be dry. Like, as long as something in it.
And when it's dry, I'm gonna have some sweet tea. But
Uh-huh,
see, I'm
right.
better than that, y'all. Now I am eating healthier because of you. What are some steps that people can take now to start getting more fit? What's one of the things that you see that people aren't doing to stay fit like yourself?
I think people need to be realistic. There's a lot of 90-day get quick, like get
those,
quick,
though.
get
I
rich
like
quick.
those.
There's get fit quick.
Yeah, that's true.
programs.
Do they have any
And-
get fat quick things?
I'm gonna hurt you too.
I'm just curious. I'm saying we on a list of them. Just curious. You got to think about. I'm representing the community of skinny people, okay? Petite people.
Well, you know what?
You
And I
know,
don't know if
I'm
you
just saying.
you recall at my wedding, my friend Christina.
Yeah,
she
she
has
did
the
gain
same
weight.
issue
Yeah.
that you have. And I
think
never
I tried to
imagined
holler
because
at her.
most people you meet want to
She was
lose
in my weight
weight,
class. Uh-huh.
but she's like, yeah, people are always looking at me like, oh, you're so skinny. You probably never
Right.
think about you. And she's like, no, I do. And I'm tired of people telling me that I'm real skinny and asking me, whether or not I eat.
Can I switch?
I'm
We gotta
serious.
switch.
Look, I lost a job in college. I was a male stripper, and I couldn't keep my thong on because it kept rolling down. It looked like a little loose rubber band.
You should have had something on to hold it up. I'm just saying. There should have been something holding the thong up.
It was my stage name was Yellow Butter.
I mean, if you know what?
Because everything just was slick straight down. Just,
I wish I'd known you then. I could have taught you how to just squeeze your buttocks
Butt
really
cheeks.
tight, and that would have kept your thong
I
up.
tried, it just rolled down. I couldn't keep a dollar in there to save my life. I just couldn't keep it.
That's when you start tucking the dollar under. But I'm gonna go with
I was wrapping it around, and it just no. But I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious
As
about
you were
it.
saying, welcome to the Donnie Jones live show. We are here with our Arprentiss Haye and
Mardy Ringer.
yes, Marty the main
Yellow
man.
butter.
As you,
Sorry.
as you were saying, some tips for us people that can lose weight, that need to lose weight.
So what I encourage, a couple of years ago, I'll go to that, I started a phone coaching. And what I would do with my clients is kind of find out where they were
Yeah.
and what the habits were that were holding them back. And I had, for example, one client who drank several Cokes a day. And rather than take her Cokes away completely, I talked her through maybe how to wean herself off the Coke. You do 5 a day, let's do 4, then let's work up to 3, then 2, then 1. Because the changes you're making are for a lifetime.
Right.
And so that's why a lot of the quick fixes don't work. And if you're not willing to eat a certain certain way
right,
for the rest of your life, then you're going to gain the weight back once you finish
and that's
the program.
exactly what happened to me. How can people get in contact with you, Arprentiss, if they do want to talk to you about fitness?
They can reach me at on my cell at 678-791-8223.
You have all of Atlanta
or
calling
at
you.
ArprentissWellFit at gmail.com.
Repeat that again.
Arprentiss, ARPRENTISS, wellfit at gmail.com.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
And if you want to hit me, I'm still listed as Yellow Butter at gmail.com. You know, I still got some old
He
moves.
still got some old G-strings back in the day. And if you want to reach us, you can reach me at Doni at DonnieJonesLive.com. That's Doni, D-O-N-I, at DonnieJonesLive.com. What's your favorite food to eat?
Ooh, healthy food. Because I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect.
Okay, what's something that you eat that people can start doing now, or something that people can start doing today? Like if somebody said, okay, I heard Arprentiss on the radio, I want to do something and make a difference. I want you to think about that for a second. We're going to take a quick break. We got to pay some bills. I want to take a quick break. I want to come back to you, and we're going to talk about things we can actually do on a day-to-day basis.
Awesome.
Cool. Hey, this is your girl, Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. Don's Tree Service has been serving the metro Atlanta area for almost 20 years. I'm a certified arborist, and we are fully licensed and insured. Call us at 770-413-TREE. We give free estimates, and we don't charge extra for cleanup. Don's Tree Service, that's 770-413-TREE, or visit us online at donstree.com.
With Doni and Mardy.
We are back. Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni Jones with...
And Mardy Ringer, I think. Yeah, I'm Mardy Ringer right now.
Right, exactly. It's got a nice
it is
ring
Sunday
to
morning.
it.
It's Sunday morning, so.
And we are talking with Arprentiss Haye of Arprentiss Well Fit, right?
Yes.
Did I say it right?
You did.
Because I keep messing up sometimes when people are like, how'd she even get this job? Because I paid for it.
That's one way to do it, Paul.
That's one way.
Right.
Exactly. But before we went to break, we were talking about something people can do right now, real time, to get started on their fitness goals.
Okay, so the number one thing that I would encourage people to do is to start drinking water.
I knew you was going to say that. So you're actually giving people the advice you gave me.
Yes.
Okay. That stuff works.
You know, okay, so I mentioned that I'm in corporate America.
Yeah.
And we have a cafeteria and at the corporate headquarters. And I noticed that people first thing in the morning are drinking Cokes with their breakfast. And don't quote me on this.
Don't say coffee. Please don't say give up coffee.
Well, I'll get to the coffee.
Okay.
I'm not going to take your coffee away because I do drink coffee, but people
With
may not be a
coconut
fan of how I would recommend you would drink your coffee. But drinking water, staying hydrated is very important. The fitness world, a lot of people who are striving to be as lean as possible set a goal for a gallon a day. I recommend at least half your body weight in water a day, and then you add about 8 to 12 ounces for every.
That's not a cut for me.
That's like 42 pounds.
Right.
42 ounces.
You know how much I weigh? Look at me. I don't know.
That's if people trying to lose weight,
Right.
Marty.
Okay, yeah.
Well, no, the half your body weight is for the average person.
Oh, just
and then
in general.
Once you're active, then you
42
want to
ounces,
add more
Marty.
water. But being hydrated is very important for
It is.
overall wellness.
Okay, awesome.
I add water for weight. That's it.
I love it.
I wanna
Well, we're
weigh
going to talk a little bit more
Yeah.
about that, but I want to kind of jump into your story about being a single mom. I know you're a married mom now, and you found your man. You got your happy spot. But I used to just marvel at the grace with which you embrace single motherhood. Like, you made it happen. No matter what was going on with your kids, you found a way to make it happen, as opposed to a lot of times I hear people make excuses. Oh, well, I can't do that because I'm a single mom. What were some of the obstacles that you had to overcome to make such a great life for you and your boys?
Oh, wow. Many.
Out there in
I became a
Cobb
single
County.
mom.
No, I'm just kidding. I mean, she moved now, but I'm just saying, her kids went to the good schools.
Uh-oh.
How did you do that?
You know what? My kids, so I was a single mom of one for about the first 11 years.
Yeah.
And gosh, when I had my first son, he was my motivation for everything.
Yeah.
I had some challenges growing up, and wanted him to experience better situations emotionally, mentally than what I experienced. And not to take anything away from my mom and dad. I know that they did the best that they could. Right. But I'm learning even today how important it is to love yourself. And I made that my focus. I tell my son all the time, I'm your number one fan.
Right.
And so he was the motivation for buying the house, at 26, because I wanted him to have a home to grow up in. He was the motivation for remaining at UPS over the years when I still had passions and dreams of my own that I wanted to pursue. But an even bigger challenge came along when I found out that I was pregnant when he was about 11 or 12, and just overwhelmed with, how am I going to do this?
Right, how am I going to do that? Right.
And God is faithful.
Yes,
I
he
have to say, by the grace of God, he gave me the strength to continue to go. And then just making hard decisions that needed to be made.
What are some of those hard decisions? Because the more you talk, the more it's like, I'm like, you got to set in your head that this is the life that I want for my kids, and I'm just going to make it happen. Well, a lot of people want to do that, but you actually did it.
And I want to just chime in all seriousness. When I met your son, I can tell you did a great job with him.
Yes.
Thank
you know, because they are men that, I ain't gonna say I was intimidated, because he's about 6'1".
I was intimidated.
But yeah, he was intimidated, but it wasn't like intimidation like he was about to beat me up. He was like,
but he
fly,
could.
like he gonna take a lot of the women in here, but and he was articulate. So he did a little speech for you, and the camaraderie with him and his younger brother, and that's one thing that I can say is an imprint of what you did, because he wasn't in there with his pants by
sagging,
his kneecaps,
come on now.
And he was professional, and he held himself. You could tell that he came from a good home.
That's
so
right.
I want to applaud you on that,
Thank
being a
you.
single mother like
Yes,
that.
high five to the single moms that are out there making it happen. And for people talking on TV saying that a single mom can't raise no son, we don't leave that alone.
Right. And all y'all
Well,
single moms that's trying to be single moms, listen, because it ain't easy.
It's not
No,
easy.
it's not easy. And you know what? This is where I have to give my dad credit as well. I remember when Elijah was 1 year old, and he was running along and he fell. And I started to run and grab him, and my dad said, leave him alone. He's okay. And so I learned to let go when I needed to. That was one of the first questions I asked my mom when I had him, was, when do I have to let him go? And she said, a little bit every day.
Yeah.
And then there were just these teachable moments.
Right.
Like when he was 4 and we were walking off the t-ball field, and all the other moms were carrying their kids' t-ball bags, and he reaches up to hand me his, and I looked at him and said, I don't play t-ball. I carry a ball bag, or when he was playing baseball and the season had started, and he's like, well, Mom, I don't want to play. And I'm like, well, you have to, because we signed up, you made a commitment. In addition to that, his coach, who loved him and supported him, had paid for him to play that season. Right. So, I wouldn't let him quit. Right. And
because you don't quit.
Right, I don't. If I make a commitment to someone, then I'm going to keep my word. And that's I would say that's old school. People don't do that.
But I don't think it's just old school. I think it's just good character,
Yeah.
And we do talk. We were talking about today about millennials that they don't like confrontation, and if they don't like something, they quit. But there are a lot of millennials out there, your son being one of them, that if you put your mind to something, you're going to follow it through. Or if you do quit, you're going to find something else.
Well, and you know what? You mentioned, the perception that a woman can't raise a man. What I focus on, you said the key word there is character. Yeah. Because there can be a man in the home that lacks character. So that young man still doesn't grow up to be a man of character.
It doesn't mean every man is a good teacher.
Exactly.
Or a good example.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. I do feel like young men do need men in their lives.
Right.
But you need positive good men, because if you get Jeffro out there, that's going to try to tell you the best way to get, do a scam and everything. Sometimes it's like, okay, if the influence is negative, the child's going to come out negative.
And I do think that you do need the positive male role models. I'm just saying, because we do live in a society where we have to admit a lot of our sons and daughters don't have fathers in the home. We can't take away from the women that are working hard. I'm blessed to have, me and my husband in the same home. But if it didn't happen that way, I would still want them to have some type of, quality male role model. So I'm not saying I'm not saying to take men out of the picture. I love men.
It's very.
Let me get that across. I love.
Okay, we get the point.
I love
we
men.
get the point.
I especially love my men.
Yeah, you try to clean it up now.
My man. I love my men. my man.
But you know,
Mine.
it's a big thing because when a man is not there and you just raised by a woman, like my mother had 5 kids,
Right.
you know, by the same man. But my father passed right before I was born.
Right.
And my mother taught us how to be nurturers and caregivers.
And you're so good at that.
Right, that's why I can't work out with good relationships, you know? Because it's like, oh, baby,
Can you
what you
man
want
up,
to do?
dude?
Right. You want me to give you a massage tonight, baby? I want to take care. Yo, will you man up a little bit, you know?
Right.
Put your foot down sometimes.
Right.
No, I want to get along.
Man up, though.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
You know that she like her husband. She like
Yeah.
those other manly men, but it's like...
But my husband's a nurturer and he's a manly man. Like, he come on, he
your
take care of
husband is
business.
really cool. He takes care of business and he knows how to put his foot down
takes
with
care of business
you. You
for
know, when you see
sure.
them dreads kind of ruffled up, you know he don't done that moment. You know, like daughter, come on.
Don't call on Sunday morning between 8 and 9. That's all I'm going to say. No.
Yeah, he laying hands on somebody. But, praise him. No,
Praise him.
But it's important. But if you give that good balance with both of them,
Right.
you know, and I
agree.
think your husband, because the testimony your son said, you know, about him coming into his life and kind of being that new father figure for him.
Right.
And I think they were talking about doing an activity. And
Yeah,
he made
why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, he
I
made
think that was a
certain
beautiful
statement
story.
that kind of touched you.
About the
okay,
grass.
so it is amazing because men never outgrow that need for that father figure.
Right.
I've learned that in my dating experiences, that we talk about women with daddy issues. There are a lot of men with daddy
Ooh,
issues.
preach.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a whole,
You know?
that's a whole nother
Uh-huh.
show right there.
Right.
Yeah.
So my son remained open-hearted to accepting a man into our lives because he knew that it was always his mom's desire to get married.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were out in the yard one day. I don't really care to do yard work, but my husband kind of dragged me out there into it. But it was good because I got to hear this conversation where they were putting some
Don't
mulch
get any
around
ideas, Morgan.
one
I'm
of
not
the
doing
trees.
those.
And Elijah was just enjoying that moment, you know, with my husband. And he said, well, this is the first time you worked in the yard. And he says, well, it's the first time I've had this father-son experience.
Oh, wow.
You know, and someone even asked him over the weekend, you know, so how do you like your new dad? He was like, oh, I love him. He's my new OG, you know.
Wow.
And we even agreed for a nickname because both of their fathers are in their lives to some extent.
Right.
So we call him Pops. My husband is Pops.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, we're going to come back and talk a little bit more with Arprentiss Weems. I am Doni Jones, your host. With
And I'm Mardy Ringer, sexually
Yeah.
chocolate. Yeah, well, sexually yellow.
Yes, you ain't
sexually-
chocolate. There is.
Yeah, well, sexually sherbet.
What's that chocolate? White chocolate. You ain't
White
white
chocolate, yeah.
chocolate. What's that?
Yellow chocolate.
Yellow
or
chocolate.
Something like that.
Banana chocolate. But
We'll be
anyway,
back.
we're here with our Arprentiss Weems. We'll be right. Arprentiss Haye, married now. We'll be right back. Hey, this is your girl, Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. Don's Tree Service has been serving the metro Atlanta area for almost 20 years. I'm a certified arborist, and we are fully licensed and insured. Call us at 770-413-TREE. We give free estimates, and we don't charge extra for cleanup. Don's Tree Service, that's 770-413-TREE, or visit us online at donstree.com. Hey, we are back. I am Doni Jones, your host. With
And I'm Mardy Ringer. I'm going to be Mardy Ringer, yeah.
Mardy Ringer. And we
Mardy
are hanging out with Arprentiss Haye today, talking about fitness, talking about entrepreneurship, talking about being a single mom who's now a married mom. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of her goals and what she's got going on right now and what she sees for the future of her business. But I love the fact that you do hold down a full-time job when you started your business. How did you come about making all of that work?
Time management, being self-motivated.
Yeah.
And just having that passion and that drive. So last week we were having a conversation where I kept saying, and something told me this and something told me that. And you told me that, you know, once someone told you that one of God's six name is something.
Yeah.
So I've embraced that when I think or feel that
Yeah.
something that God is speaking to me. And so God has been tugging on my heart to pursue my passion for fitness for 3 years now.
Wow.
And actually, when I started my degree this last round, I started
And this is the final round. So
this is the
really
final
okay.
round at American Public University. I was going to get it. I was going to do exercise science. I decided to go another route and finish up communication. But there's just this drive that's been there since I was a little girl. I trained in jazz and ballet at Pebblebrook High School in the Cobb County Excellence for Performing Arts, and I just love to dance.
She's a great dancer too, y'all.
So much.
I'm
You
not
know,
talking
I was a
about
great
pole.
dancer.
Okay.
Well, sorry. So, yeah, she was a
Okay,
great
yellow
dancer.
butter, what was it? Butter?
No, I was professionally
Yellow butter.
trained.
She didn't have a pole involved in hers. Okay.
Hey.
No, sir.
Well, I didn't have my
Yeah,
pole
Thomas
either.
Weems wasn't gonna have that.
Mine was, never mind.
Oh my God.
Thomas.
Anywho,
Yes,
as you
yes.
were saying.
That's in the past, yes.
And
Yes, God forgives you.
But of course, you know, again, up until last month, I was still a single mom, and so, and having Austin was eye-opening for me because actually, let me back up. So when Elijah was 11, actually about 8, I was at Mercer in their adult program. I took him out of sports for a year and then just felt so much guilt because I'm like, oh, this is his childhood. You know, he should be playing sports.
Mom guilt.
I'm just going to put my dreams on hold until he turns 18. Well, when I
Right.
had Austin, I was like, well, I can't wait another
18
years. So then there was the need to figure out how to do both. I've got to figure out how I can still have this career and start to pursue my dreams.
Yeah.
Doni
Yes.
is a dream whisperer.
Yeah.
She's good at, you know, she put a little flyer or, oh, Arprentiss, there's this exercise course over here or that over there.
Right.
And even this radio show, she kept, you know, I come be on the radio show.
Encouraging people.
And so since 2015, I earned my group fitness certification.
She sure
through
did.
Congrats.
AFA.
Yes.
I earned a fitness certification for Club Vibe.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is a dance fitness format that is exercise science based.
Yes.
And then now I'm looking into getting a personal training certificate, thinking about going the yoga route. And it's just always been my dream to have my own dance studio. And now coupled with the fitness, it's kind of the vision I have.
That's awesome. And how can people get in contact with you again so we can reach out and spread the word?
Arprentiss Well Fit.
Repeat that because I cut you off.
Okay.
And you might need to expel apprentice because some
Okay,
people
let me
spell
spell
like
it
me,
again.
and it ain't gonna work. It ain't.
O-A-R.
How you spell prentice? Okay.
Okay, we're going to be quiet so you can spell Apprentice.
spell
Spell
that.
it.
So it's
slowly.
arprentisswellfit@gmail.com, and that's A as in Apple, R as in Richter, P as in Paul, R as in Richter, E as in Ed, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, I as in Igloo, S as in Sam, S as in Sam. Well fit, no dots, no spaces @gmail.com.
I'm looking
Love
at your
it.
lips and I'm just off already. I was going with the first letter. I was trying to spell it. That's the A with the alphabet. What the? How do you spell an A with the alphabet?
Okay, how about this? Just spell it and then get
Right.
A-R. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, you know, some people was that
That's
a B or was
Right.
that a
Right.
was that
You're right,
a was
you're
that an
right.
N or an
I
M?
just
Use a
thought
word
that
that
Lou-
white folks don't use.
Right.
Richter. What the heck is a
Richter?
Richter?
Is that in the word? Is that in? Is she from Africa? How many names she got?
What kind of
Richter of
forever?
Africa.
Well, you know, I thought
That's
people
what
would
you
go.
know.
They
You
go
say she was in
Alpha,
college.
Richter,
Exactly.
Polly, Richter,
She got
Echo.
all her names. Echoes. Okay, yeah.
Q
Why don't you
peanut.
try that again? Just spell it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just spell it, girl.
So ARPRENTISSWELLFIT
Okay, we
Yeah.
got that.
Yeah, you got that. Okay, then.
Okay.
Jesus.
Whew.
Yeah.
I need to relax.
Right. We're going to have to put you on Sesame Street.
See, I'm used to this.
Had to bounce the letters.
That would be another
Hey,
character.
right. Good, but okay.
We got you now. We know what your goals are. What's some
Yeah.
things for people like me or people that are wanting to get fit? What's some routines that they can do that in their home to start working on that fit body?
Okay.
Right.
And I'm glad you said in your home. So I don't have a gym membership.
Oh, you don't?
I do not have a gym membership.
She looked like she
So
got one
Right.
though.
I got one, but
I
look
don't
like it
have
either.
time. I do have time to work out. I don't have time to go to a gym. So I've
Oh,
invested
that's
in a weight
good.
tree that has 10-pound weights all the way up to 30-pound weights. I have my own workout mat at home, and
You got a weight machine from how much weight does
it's a weight tree. So it has freehand weights. It starts at 10 pounds and it goes up in increments of 5.
I'm like, you don't need really. You could just have me over there and just push me up, because that's about the size of me. Just put me on a string and just pull me
There
up.
you
Right.
go.
You want less weight? Take a shoe off. You
Yes,
know,
exactly.
That's about it. Okay, because that
Take
ain't a
your
whole lot
watch off. I can't help
Right. Because I'm saying some people think that it is the amount of weight that you
Right.
use. So is
Right.
it? Are
No.
you doing with tone? Just trying to stay tone, or are you trying to get like the muscle?
No. So a certain amount of resistance is going to tone your muscles.
Right.
And so the heaviest weights that I've lifted are 20 pounds because I'm just trying to build and tone muscle.
Okay.
My son, who you've seen with the biceps, he has the 35-pound weights. They stay in his room, so I haven't lifted those.
Okay.
But I really want to encourage
son is beautiful.
women.
I mean, he's like a little kid. I mean, he's like my son, so I have to be careful how I say that because
Right.
I've seen him since he was a kid. But, you know, as from one mom to another one, your son is a very attractive young man.
Yeah. And just from a
in the
man,
name
I
of
just
Jesus.
can't say it, but he got it. I can't. He looked really good. I like
looked
it.
good.
Ponytail. I'm just saying, when he was doing that new dance where they jump up and ooh, yeah.
Ooh, child.
No,
Things are gonna get.
it ain't that kind of part. No, just.
There it is.
He good.
I mean, of course, I
was
think
intimidated. I
he's
thought he was
beautiful,
gonna get,
but
take
I'm
a number from
biased.
him. Yeah, so yeah. But I can tell that's your son. Yeah, y'all favor. Yeah, God was nice to y'all family. Gave y'all some good
They
genes.
got the pretty genes in
Right,
there.
right. Y'all genes came from Eden. Yeah. You got the original seeds or whatever. Right?
Oh, as you were saying.
As I was saying, I want to encourage moms that feel like they don't have enough time to go to a gym, that you don't have to go to a gym.
Yeah.
And this is going to shock a lot of people, but for women, all you need is 10 minutes a day, a good 3-minute warm up, maybe 5 minutes if you're new to fitness, a good high intensity full body workout for 10 minutes and a cool down, 3 to 4 days a week.
Wow. And if they do that, they're going to look like you.
And then there's that. And then there's the eating aspect. But yeah,
yes.
but that's a great start. And then walking. So I learned this from a very good friend of mine that I've gotten to know over the years on Facebook, Fit with Deb, how important movement is. So exercise is not movement. Exercise is exercise. Movement is relaxing your body and de-stressing. And de-stressing reduces cortisol, which is
My
behind the
husband says
fat
that.
in your midsection.
Yeah.
And so walking is very important. So if anyone wanted to get started today, I would say start with a 10 to 15 minute regimen and then try to work in at least 3 to 4 days a week of walking, at least 15 minutes to half an hour.
Awesome.
That's
I
cool.
love it.
Right.
Well, we're going to get
Easy
into a
fun.
little bit of our hot topics on our next segment, and I want you to stick around. Do you mind sticking around, hanging out, talking a little bit about what today's hot topics are?
Yeah.
It would be my pleasure.
Oh, right.
You're curious. What?
I said I'm curious. I
I
didn't
thought
say
you
nothing
said
about
by
my
curious. I was like, what?
No,
no. I know that,
not in that aspect. No,
I know you didn't
I am
say.
curious, but never mind. But not
What?
on that aspect. Now,
I
I don't know. No. I ain't got nothing to explain. Nope. Nothing to explain. You'd be surprised.
You're married anyway.
Most
so.
of the time I am. Yes,
No.
I am.
What does most of the time
That's
mean?
hot topic. That's a different
Hot
hot
topic.
topic.
Okay, guys, when we come back with Doni and
Mardy, yes.
hanging out with Arprentiss, we're going to talk a little bit about our hot topics. All right? We'll be back soon. Hey, this is your girl, Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. Don's Tree Service has been serving the metro Atlanta area for almost 20 years. I'm a certified arborist, and we are fully licensed and insured. Call us at 770-413-TREE. We give free estimates, and we don't charge extra for cleanup. Don's Tree Service, that's 770-413-TREE, or visit us online at donstree.com.
Hey, got a comment about the show? Or would you like to just be a guest? Send us an email at DonnieJonesLive@gmail.com. Now, back to more Donnie Jones Live with Doni and Mardy.
Hey, we are back. I am your host, Doni Jones.
And I am Mardy, that ringer, me.
Yeah, and we're hanging out here with Arprentiss. Haye. Hey. I know you get sick of people doing that, don't you?
You know what? My husband prepared me on our wedding night. Okay, you're going to get all kinds of, and one of them is going to be, hey, Mrs. Haye.
And that was like one of the first things I did.
It is.
Well, I asked Arprentiss to hang out with us a little bit today while we go over our hot topics. Every week we like to talk about a hot topic, and today we're going to talk about it. Kavanaugh. We're gonna talk about it, okay? And I am very aware of what station we're on. We're gonna talk about it. What are you all's feelings on this? I already know how I feel. I'm gonna just say it out right now. I believe the lady all day long because I was sexually assaulted.
Well, you know,
And I went through those same feelings.
I was sexually assaulted, but I liked it. you know, when I was younger.
Hurt you.
But
I'm just gonna hurt you.
Truth,
I'm
you
just
know?
gonna hurt
and
you.
And it messed with me years later, you know. But I say it like this, honestly.
Mardy.
Hey, it's a little different
In the name of
if
the
you're
Father,
a 14-year-old boy getting molested by older ladies. You don't think like
but
it's
I'm
wrong.
glad you said that though, because that is child molestation. If you're 14,
I know it is, but I ain't telling nobody. I said, thank you, Jesus.
No,
I
but-
always had faith. You knew what was on my heart, and I couldn't ask my mama for it. But you always came through.
Mardy.
Just in the nick of time.
Mardy. Okay,
But no,
just to preface it, sexual assault is not funny, but I would
Right.
say most 14-year-old and 15-year-old boys would feel
Right.
like you feel. Like,
Yeah.
you know, ain't nothing wrong with it. But as a mom, knowing that somebody touched my 14-year-old boy, I would
Right.
be
Oh,
hot.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, now your dad might be going, good boy, son.
But it's
you
different
know,
when you
but
look
it's
at your
still
daughter
wrong, though.
and you look at
Right.
your
Yeah,
son,
if it
you know,
were your- if it-
because
right.
I think you are right. I think, you know, and I'll be honest with you, if my nephews, if I caught them having sex with a woman or a young girl, it's like, that's my boy, but you don't
Right,
do protection.
right,
Now, if I
right.
caught my niece, it's like, what are you doing? You too
Right,
young, you know. And it is a
right.
double-edged sword.
There's-
And during that time, at first, and I'll be honest with you, transparency, I was when I first heard it, like 30, 40, 50 years later, you know, if
Right.
I got, God knows, if some of the things that I've done when I was younger came out to, you know, say, well, Mardy, you're a minister now. Do you know, these women said that you did this, that? Because it was a few times that I was in a band that I didn't think that I did anything wrong, but
Right.
somebody said, well, he did something inappropriate to me.
Right.
And I'm sitting there like, no, I did not. You
well,
know?
I think our definition of what we perceived as inappropriate
Right.
and appropriate is starting to change in what's acceptable
Right.
and not acceptable.
But
you know,
I gotta say, I was watching, because I know this is going to be a little bit dated. But when I was watching the lady's testimony,
Right.
you know, it changed my whole viewpoint on the statute of limitation
Right.
of when you go so far that you actually traumatize somebody's
Yeah,
life.
absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
it's one thing for kids would be kids and there's misunderstandings, and I understand that. When someone said, well, he brushed up against my shoulder when I was 12.
Okay, that's a different story,
That's
right.
a little bit different, but this lady is going through detail of saying, okay, this was my counselor, this was my therapist that I talked to about this, and I specifically said his name. This is something that's dealt with me over the years. This
Right.
happened to me when I was
well,
15.
he held her down. Him and that boy held her
Yeah,
down
right.
and covered her mouth so she couldn't scream.
Right.
That's assault.
That's straight
That's
up
not
assault.
brushing you up against
Right.
your shoulder, or you know,
Uh-huh.
you walk by and you pinch your butt, even though
Right.
that's wrong. And
But,
we know
yeah.
nowadays that that's wrong. But pinning somebody down and then brushing their shoulders, two
Right.
totally different things. What's your thoughts on it, Arprentiss?
Wow. I have not had the opportunity to listen to her testimony today. But as I think about it, I always try to remain objective in these types of situations. So I was open to hearing, you know, what she had to say. I didn't go into it, you know, on either side.
Right.
I believe she deserves to be heard. You know, as we talked about it, you know, it's one of the highest, you know, positions that you can hold, and it's a lifelong position.
Right.
And so you're going to be scrutinized and looked
Right.
at every single detail. And I think as the American public deserves to hear both sides,
Right.
so that
Absolutely.
an objective decision can be made. I don't think she should just be brushed aside and he should automatically just be
Right.
believed
And I
because
think
of
that's
the
where I'm
position
having the
that
problem.
he's held.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, you know, just forget everything she's saying and let's just believe him. Why is he more believable than she is?
Right.
You know, and I think that's where my issue was. It's like they didn't even want to hear the woman's story out. And this is not something she asked for. People were showing up at her job, on the beach, at her
Right.
house, you know, with cameras and with, you know, microphones to get a statement. And she's like, listen, I told my therapist about this, or I told a friend about this. Somehow it got out.
Well,
So-
it was a sequence of events where she said that she had been following and found out when he was on a short list.
Yeah.
That's when she put an anonymous letter in saying, hey, before y'all push this further,
You need to
y'all-
know this.
Y'all need to know this. But it kept kind of getting pushed up under
Right.
till it did kind of come to a point where it's like, okay, he's on the last leg. He's about to be there. Let me get a little bit more out there because
Okay.
this is something passionate for her. And then it's something to understand that what I appreciate about this witness so more, she's an educated woman.
Yes, she is.
You know, that is articulate.
Yes.
That is not, playing some kind of game. She's like, I didn't want to put my family through this.
Right.
I didn't want to put my husband through this. I wanted to be who I was, professor. But now my whole life has changed because of this.
Right.
And, it's amazing that, if you've taken drugs after the age of 21, you cannot be an FBI agent, period.
Oh, wow.
I did not know that.
Right. That's the thing. If you've ever taken any drugs after the age of 21, you cannot be an FBI agent.
Wow.
However,
I did not
we
know
have
that.
presidents that has done crazy things.
Yeah.
And now we have a guy who's going to be on the highest seat who women are coming out. So right now it's 5 of them. Now,
Right.
of course,
Well, they said one of them retracted what she said.
yeah, and some of them, of course, if they're anonymous, you can't really prove it, and it kind of doesn't have as much weight. But Bill Cosby just got sentenced, from a long list of these kind of accusations. So now you have a Supreme Court,
Right.
justice that is being accused of these similar things, and it's like, he'll be all right. That just happened a while ago.
Right.
But
then
too
with
long
Cosby,
ago.
it's like
Right.
But here's the thing, though. I don't think people are using the theory that, well, y'all got Cosby, now y'all need to get him. Absolutely, you're 100% right. But at the same token, you don't even need to bring that up. It's not like you go, oh, well, then if he didn't get caught, if he did jail, was doing jail time, well, then now for sure. No, let's just leave that out of the equation. He's supposed to be in jail.
He's supposed to be in jail.
Now this guy should be in jail too. Not justifying either one. And I think that's where we're losing credibility, is when we say one thing is really bad, but then somebody else does almost the exact same thing, and they're, boys will be boys.
I would say, unfortunately, I love Bill, but he had a whole laundry list of,
but here's the thing, though. It was an open secret in Hollywood. This didn't just come out. You know, it was known that he did this type of behavior. It was like a known thing.
Wasn't it even a comedian who
Hannibal
brought it up in the show?
Hannibal Buress did it, and it was, believe it or not, actually Bill Cosby himself.
He outed himself with the Spanish.
He did a Spanish fly.
Yeah.
I was looking for that medicine before I realized what it did.
You silly dude.
I heard the whole joke, like you put it in and they
did
just.
That back in the 60s or 70s.
Right.
He said.
actually did a whole joke about the actual drug and what he wished, and kind of talked about what it did and how he did it and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, he actually said he did it.
Yeah, you know, in a comedy bit, but it's one of those things where it kind of catches up to you, you know. But and even with, I think with this guy, sometimes you can hurt some people so bad, and God still has a way of saying, "I got you."
Yeah,
it's
and I believe this is her "I got you."
Yeah.
Or as a nation, for women that have been hurt, no matter which way this goes, this is a way. Even if it doesn't go like we think it may go, this is still a moment in time where women are being heard.
Yeah.
And if we don't get heard, we're gonna kick the door down and make ourselves heard. So, I want to thank you all, Arprentiss. I want to thank you for being here. I wish we could go more into this, but you've been an inspiration, overcoming things in your life. And tell us once again how to get in contact with you before we kind of wrap up.
Slowly. Slowly.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Mardy. And it's ARPRENTISS wellfit@gmail.com. ArprentissWellfit@gmail.com.
Awesome. Will you come back and hang out with us again someday?
Sure.
Awesome. And Mardy, you are the man. You are the absolute
are the one
man.
And look, if y'all want to email Doni directly, just do me this. Email her at DoniJonesLive@gmail.com. That's a quick one. I checked that one.
Yeah, we still working. We're finding out
we
the
ain't
other
paid
one
the bill.
is.
You know you got to pay your bill on that too.
Are you tripping? I did.
No. You missed the email.
Yeah, I had to pay the $5 email bill. Right. You guys, thank you for joining us. We look forward to talking with you next week when we are coming back with Doni Jones Live. I am your host, Doni Jones.
And I'm Mardy Ringer.
Yeah.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.
What does it mean to be in ministry? Do you have to have a degree for that? You got to go to school to work at a church? I don't ever see job postings for churches. Like, how does that work?
That kind of makes me think about the song that you've got coming up called Packed Bags. That's an original song. You're an original artist, and there's a lot of African-American women that contributed to the folk industry that don't get a chance to have their story told. So
I pack my bags, headed down the road. to figure out, you know, what's going on with my child. But I was not, my system wasn't wasted. So had she not got me there in time enough, I would have died.
In total alignment with, but I also want her on the show because there's also some things I believe that I talk about with the LGBTQ community that I'm very liberal on, that she may not necessarily be as a liberal on, so I thought that would be a good chance for us to talk.
I'm not real good at playing the political game.
Yeah.
So I don't think all Democrats are right, and I don't think all Republicans are wrong.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I really ride the middle. I am truly a Democrat in my heart, but guess what? They're not all right, and they're not all wrong.
Here, what, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when there really is a city of Greenhaven and we have made a difference and we did reach out to those people.
Right. We have a place in business, you know, and I think for a lot of people, they feel like, well, how am I going to fit in, you know?
Right.
Sometimes you got to kick the door down and make yourself fit in. Like,
Well, that if you're married and get divorced and marry again, that's still adultery.
Right. Actually, Jesus did say that.
Yeah.
Jesus,
we need to talk.
Jesus, who never said a thing about gay people, but I digress. Anyway.
Well, let me take that back. Men are visual.
yeah, they are.
So when they meet me, they meet this. Let me get in the car with him and be like, hey!
I'm going to take those items and just kind of zhuzh them, my favorite word, with different accessories to give them different looks.
Okay.
In the last few years, women, just women, entrepreneurship has increased by 114%.
This thing.
You know, Donna, you don't understand. I can't do this because I'm in debt. You can always volunteer your time. You can always babysit somebody's kid. You can always make a meal for somebody and offer them a meal. There's always a way to give back. Whatever dream you have in your head, go for it. And I know that's been the thing.